this is something I've been wanting to touch on for a while. I heard more than one man say this. Some men feel that the black woman is the downfall of the black family today, right? And when I hear men say this, usually they go back to the man in the house rule, back then when it was they basically saying that the black woman allowed the government to be their husband. The black women allowed the government to be the daddy of their kids, and the man wasn't in the house no more, and that was the downfall of it. For those who might not be familiar with the man in the house rule, it was said that if you wanted government assistance, you wanted welfare or what have you, right? You can't have a man in the house. I guess the government would say if a man in the house, he needs to be taken care of, but he needs to take care of. So if you need government assistance or want government assistance, you can't have a man in the house. And some black men say black women kick their man out of the house so they can get that government money. They can get the government to take care of their kids, and they let the government be their husband, and they let the government be the father of their kids. And that was the downfall of the black family, and it was a trickle-down effect, and it's still affecting the black family today. All right, now look, let's really talk about this, right? Do I think that can be an element of the breakdown of the black family? An element, yes. Do I think it's solely responsible? No, I think they got multiple parts that can take part in this. But look, since we talking about is black women the downfall of the black family, and black men who say that talk about the man in the house rule, let's talk about that, right? Let me say this. I think that's something that might be really overlooked, because you have some black men, you have some black women, typically online, social media, YouTube, or what have you, kind of going to war with each other. And saying, oh, it's your fault, it's her fault. No, y'all, it's the man in the house rule, all this fault, right? But I think both of them need to probably stop doing that, and might want to look at the system. Even if you go to the man in the house rule, right? That's a systematic thing, right? Boom. Now some men would say, yeah, but they let the system use them. But look, that's what I'm saying. That's one perspective. Look at this same man in the house rule, right? Boom. It's not as if you living it up if you living off government assistance. It's not like you got a mansion, 3-4 cars, you can vacation anytime you feel, you're getting crumbs, right? I mean, you're not doing it big. So, but listen to this. If someone can give you crumbs, and someone would say, oh, well, hey, you gotta go, they're giving me some money, then how little was that man actually contributing to the home financially if someone would kick that man, we're gonna talk about kick that man out over some crumbs, right? Now, some women who might have used, who might have partook in the man in the house rule maliciously, unjustly, not right, will probably say he wasn't bringing in nothing anyway, and somebody got to bring something in. And on the flip side of that, that man would probably say, because look, we talk this man in the house rule stuff, you can go back to like right after civil, like the late 60s and all that, right? Think about how it was back then, right? Where it was like blatantly racist. It's like right after civil rights, or even pre-civil rights, we all in that time, right? Where you couldn't use the same water fountain. A white man or a white person wanted to sit at a certain seat, you get up and you go in the back. I bet not catch you around here. So if you're living in a blatantly racist system like that, right? How would the opportunities for the black man to earn be at a certain level as it is today, right? I'm sure, I mean, would you be able to get certain jobs? Would you be allowed to make certain amount? Would you be allowed to do certain things? So systematically, it would seem things were set up for the black man to be limited financially, right? Because the black man might have had a legitimate point like, hey, I can't earn the way I need to earn. And the black woman might be like, dang, we ain't got nothing, we need to take stuff, need to be taken care of. And here, both of y'all might have legitimate points of views.
Although I do believe that systemic racism still exists, I don't think it's as blatant and as prevalent as it was back then. So we have more opportunities. So I wouldn't want to use that as an excuse. Just because you choose to heal don't mean you letting somebody wrongdoing off the hook. That's where people get twisted.
Now look, that's just one layer. You know, let's talk more about it. Another layer of this, that I think, see, that, like I said earlier, you can't just blame this one lane on the breakdown of the black family. Let's continue to talk about this man in the house rule and people who receive government assistance to take care of their home and take care of their kids. If you just blame women who on that, you got some women who will abuse that. They might have kids on purpose with no intent of ever being in a committed relationship or saying, I'm gonna just kick that dude out and keep receiving his money. I believe you have some women who do abuse the system like that. But on the flip side, because look, this is man and woman together, right? This is a two-way street. You can't. On the flip side of that, you have some who may be on it because you have some dudes who don't have no interest in taking care of their kids. They'll get this woman pregnant, they'll get that woman pregnant, they'll get that woman pregnant, and go about their business and don't have no interest in being in that kid's life or being in those kids' life. And now the woman may need to, see, it's not a one size fit all, right? You can have some women abusing the system. You can have some who need it because a man ain't step up and did what he was supposed to do. So in this equation, or you give it the black man the same blame for the breakdown of the modern family today if he ain't taking care of his kids and that's why she ended up on government assistance, or if he didn't take care of his kids and she ain't on government assistance and she working and got a job and doing whatever it is she got to do, right? So that's another element to this. And another element, look, like I say, this is a two-way street, right? When you're talking about romance, relationship, sex, that's two people, right? This is man and this is woman. Now, the ultimate question is, right, whether you talk about government, whether you talk about this, whether you talk about that. If you watch my channel, when I talk about sex and relationships, I said it before, I'm about to say it right now, and I'll probably end up saying it again, right? You need to be purposeful with your romance and your sex drive. Straight up like that. Now look, how were these people using, and today, how are people using their romance in their sex? Are you using it as just another thing? Are you having kicking partners? Are you having sex buddies? Are you looking to really build families? Right? Are you really looking to do that when dealing with each other? Right? Because look, in order for somebody to kick somebody out the house who they're not married to, that mean they wasn't married to them. That mean they was having sex and creating kids, which is this is a permanent thing. If you was living with them, that mean y'all sharing bills, y'all taking care of each other, y'all doing committed stuff, right? Like you heard me say in other videos, right? Without the commitment itself, right? Or if you wasn't living with them at all, why you creating a permanent situation, a permanent thing, a child or children, woman, man, with somebody you ain't even got that type of permanent commitment with? Why are you dealing with people romantically and sexually, right? Are you just doing it willy-nilly? Are you doing this for some real purpose and to build? Because part of this is for family building, right? That's what the big part of this is for. Relationships and sex, to build the family. So if you wasn't using it for that, if you're using it just for pleasure-based purposes, now look, you gotta let the true intentions and purpose of sex and relationships be first. And the pleasure is something that just come along with it. That's just an automatic if you just gonna do it right? But it don't sound like people was operating with that first. They wasn't operating with the purpose of this sex, of romance and sex first, right? And then talk about the breakdown of the family and put it on something that's like on the surface level or layers up. No, you get back down to the root and say, how are we dealing with each other sexually and romantically? Am I doing this as something just to do? Am I doing it for bragging rights? Am I doing it to try to get some money out of somebody? If I'm doing it to try to get some sex out of somebody? Or am I approaching people looking to, like I say in another video I got called, Why Are You Dating? I don't believe that nobody should even be dating unless they're dating for marriage. I'm being intentional and purposeful about this. What are we doing here? Are you even building family? Are you starting building it on that permanent commitment and then start doing these committed things? Build it on that stable foundation of marriage first, then start doing all this permanent stuff. That's how you can start fixing broken families, broken homes, or what have you. Black, white, or what have you. That's what I'm saying.